And real quick for a side-by-side so you can let me know which pair you prefer. Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your old pal Mr. Butter coming back at you. These are sitting everywhere and they are very, very available. I'm wearing the Forum Low Grinch from last season, and once again Adidas gave us some Forum Lows in a Grinch theme. Today I want to get into this year's pair and talk about how I like it compared to last year's pair. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look at these Grinch Adidas Forum Lows. And real quick before we get into today's pair, on feet I have the Grinch Forum Lows from last year. They are covered in a green fuzzy suede. They've got a whole bunch of extra little trinkets on the laces, and I just really like them. It's easy to see that it's a Grinch theme, and it's a lot of fun to rock around the holiday season. So with that out of the way, we'll go ahead and look at today's pair. This box is exactly the same as the box that we had on the last release. Same color, same graphics. This tag says Forum Low the Grinch. I got a size 10. I never know exactly what the colors are by the tag, but it looks like there's a white, a green, and a red, I believe. I always go true to size on Forum 84s. They have a little bit more room than what like a Jordan 1 Low or a Dunk Low have. So I try not to go a half size up on Forum Lows. Forum Highs, I can go a half size up, but on Forum Lows, I just stick with my regular size 10. Real quick, here's another look at the tag for this pair. And this is the tag from last year's pair. So the only difference in the verbiage is last year's pair says Forum Low the Grinch option 1. This was for the green fuzzy suede pair, but you can see the graphics are exactly the same. I love the Christmas theme on it, and it is a drawer style box. Even the paper was the same, and last year's pair also came with an extra set of insoles and some extra laces as well. For this year's pair, again, we see that Grinch theme paper inside of the box. Each shoe was individually wrapped in just regular Adidas paper, which was covered up by this Grinch theme paper. Here's the 2 pairs of extra laces that came with this year's pair. One thing I will say is the quality of the laces from last year's pair was noticeably better than the quality of the laces for this year's pair. So that's one thing I noticed. Not a big deal, but I do appreciate getting the better quality. And real quick, these are the spare insoles that came with this year's pair. It says Merry Grinchmas, and we have some Adidas branding on one and just some Grinch branding on the other one. Alright, so the packaging is cool. I always like getting some special graphics to match the shoes, but here's what we're here to see. This is this year's Grinch Forum Low. Like I said in the intro, I'm a huge fan of the Forum, and one thing that always stands out is just the unique style of them, having that strap on the top, but also the quality on these things is far superior to similarly priced Jordans or similarly priced Nikes. The quality on Adidas Forums is absolutely bonkers for the price point. So I'm all about that. I also like the fact that it's just something different. It's a retro basketball silhouette, so it was from the mid 80s. It was actually out before the Jordan 1 came out, and you get that retro basketball style, but it's just something fresh, and it's something that you don't see everybody wearing. This is obviously a Christmas themed shoe. I think that the pair that I have on feet really got the Grinch theme across more. However, it's very easy to tell with the colors and everything that this is Christmas themed. On the right tongue, we have a tag that has the Grinch's face on it. And these also came with some of these little trinkets on the laces. So to go along with that story where the Grinch's heart grew 3 times its size, it's got those on it. I like that. I don't think there's a need to put all the trinkets on there. However, these did also come with almost identical trinkets to the ones from last year. They also came with a little Christmas ornament trinket as well. And on one side it says the Grinch, and on the other side it says Adidas. And that's actually got some weight to it. That's pretty neat looking. I wouldn't put it on my shoes because I think it would fall off, but I might put it on a little tree or something like that. And here's the little trinkets that come that you can put on your laces. And like I said, these are almost identical to last year's. The presents and then the two different Grinch faces are exactly the same as what we got last year, but the only difference in these little trinkets are on this pair, like I already showed you, we got that heart that grew 3 times the size. And on last year's pair, we got a little trinket that showed Max, the dog. While I'm talking about Max the dog, I think that this year, along with this Grinch theme pair, they also gave us a Max theme pair. And then they gave us a, was it Cindy Lou Who or Wendy Lou Who? I forget what her name is, but they gave us a pair that was inspired by the little girl as well. Of the 3 that came out this year, this one is definitely my favorite just because it's so recognizably a Christmas themed shoe, and I just like the classic style of it. I think the Max shoe doesn't have the strap on the top, and it's got a fuzzy brown suede all over it. That's my second favorite pair, but they're all really neat. They have unique style, and who doesn't love a Christmas themed shoe? But getting into the actual review of this pair, we have a standard Adidas Form 84 tread pattern. It's got that pivot point or the suction cup in the front, and that's pretty classic. It's got it in the red color, and I think all the OG colors had that red colored suction cup. But then the rest of it is kind of like this translucent neon green, and it's the exact same colors that we got on last year's release. I think it looks really cool. It almost looks like it's glowing whenever the light hits it just right. But in the midfoot, it's got some Adidas branding, and then the traction under the forefoot and the heel is all those Adidas trefoils. But it's a really neat looking outsole. Then as we come up, we've got a cream colored midsole, and that's a standard Form 84 midsole. It's pretty plain, but then whenever you get to the inside of the shoe, you've got that Dillinger webbing, and you can see that that's on white foam, but it's a red netting going over top of it, and I really like the way that looks. Just above that, we've got a red colored heel anchor, and that's like a hard plastic material, and again, that's very reminiscent of mid-80s basketball shoes, but I like that bold red up against that cream leather. This leather is really good quality, and I probably sound like a broken record, but Form 84s have amazing quality. Every now and then you'll get a pair that has like recycled materials, but for the regular pairs that don't have the recycled materials, they just feel phenomenal. And as soon as you look at it, you can tell, like, this looks like leather that would be on like a luxury car. It just has those tiny little ripples, and you can tell it's really soft, but it's a very natural material. And on the toe box, we have perforations like we're used to seeing. And then we just see those thick cuts of the cream leather going all the way back the shoe. On the outside of the shoe for the 3 stripes, we have a nice feeling red leather. And on the inside of the shoe for the 3 stripes, we have some of that Grinch colored fuzzy suede, a lot of like what we saw on last year's Grinch pair. And then as you come back to the collar, you can see a little window, and up here where we see more of that green fuzzy suede, and I really like that. The Adidas trefoil on the side is green, but it's a darker green, kind of like to match the sock liner that we have. And the entire tongue is nothing but that really fuzzy green suede like we see on last year's Grinch shoes, and I really like that material. Like I said, on the right shoe we have a tag that has the Grinch on it, and on the left shoe it's just got a standard Adidas trefoil. We have that cream colored strap, and inside of that we've got some Adidas branding accented by neon green. We just got some cream colored laces already in the shoe, but like I showed you in the beginning, we got some red and some neon green spares. And like I said, even with the laces in the shoe, these don't feel like the quality is near as good as what last year's shoelaces were, but I'm just being nitpicky at this point. We've got that nice dark green sock liner, and down on this insole you can see that we've got the Grinch's face. Looks like he's smiling with a Christmas hat on. But that was just a pretty quick look at these. I really love this pair. I think if I had to pick one, I would probably choose the pair from last year over this pair, just because it really hammers home that Grinch theme, and I love the Grinch. I like the cartoons, the one with Jim Carrey, and even the newer cartoon. They're all really good. I have a 5-year-old son, and he absolutely adores watching the Grinch movies now, so we get a real kick out of it. That being said, these have a more classic look to them. They look like standard Form 84s, and the materials, this leather especially, is really high quality, and they're really put together well. Either way, you can't lose. I think they're both really cool pairs of shoes. Let me know which pair you prefer. I appreciate you all watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.